Last time on Dragon Ball Super, Frieza seemingly reigns triumphant over our heroes, as a sneak attack allows him to destroy planet Earth, killing everyone in the process. However, Frieza is cheated out of his victory. Soon after, as Whis rewinds time, allowing Goku to finally put an end to Frieza. Or so we thought. What if Frieza had survived Goku's final attack? This is what we'll be exploring today. Let's get straight into the video. So originally when I was thinking about this idea, I thought about Mega Frieza surviving Trunks' onslaught in Dragon Ball Z. However, that goes against Trunks' character, as he always wants to make sure that absolutely no mistakes are made and that his enemies are truly eliminated. So I decided to do a different approach, an approach on Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection F Saga. Similar to how Goku thought he had eliminated Frieza originally back on planet Namek, a similar situation plays out once again. Frieza is barely hanging on as he drifts in space. He managed to just dodge Goku's attack at the last second. However, that doesn't mean he survived unscattered. His serious injuries brutally inflicted by Vegeta were also a blessing in disguise, as that meant his power level was low enough to escape the Z Fighters' notice. Though Whis did notice Frieza survive, he did not mention this to Goku and the rest, choosing to simply keep silent and let things play out. Meanwhile, Frieza swears to seek vengeance on the Saiyans once more. However, now that posed a serious problem. Frieza had no way to recuperate from his injuries. As a space tyrant, he had no allies, and the remnants of the Frieza force were already wiped out by the Z Fighters. Well, that's what he initially thought. He suddenly remembered his subordinate, Barry Blue, had advised him not to bring along his entire army. At first, he simply dismissed Barry Blue's advice. However, in the end, he decided to just listen to Barry Blue. So, he still had some of his forces left at his home base, Frieza Planet 79. Frieza gently glides his body in the general direction of his base of operation. However, this was no easy feat. Frieza was constantly on the brink of unconsciousness and also couldn't move his body too much lest he injure himself even further. It takes Frieza nearly 2 weeks to reach Frieza Planet 79. The soldiers then immediately bring Frieza to the healing chamber. It then takes another few days for Frieza to fully recuperate from his injuries. Frieza steps out of the healing chamber, good as new. It was time to enact his plans and destroy those Saiyan monkeys for good this time. Firstly, he had to continue training. Despite how much he detested this idea, it was a necessary endeavor because Goku and Vegeta were also constantly getting stronger too. Secondly, bolstering his forces was another top priority. After his devastating loss on Earth, Frieza's army was practically wiped out. So Frieza sent his scouts out to scour for powerful fighters in the depths and corners of the universe. This essentially brings the DBS Broly timeline forward, as Frieza basically does what he did after the Tournament of Power originally. However, now he does it a year earlier. Chila and Lemo as usual discover Broly and Paragus on planet Vampa. Meanwhile, in this year of preparation, let's cover what's been going on with the Z Fighters. The Universe 6 tournament arc concludes as usual, with Monaka as the victor. The Future Trunks saga then begins and ends like canon, with basically no changes whatsoever. Now we enter the time skip in between the Future Trunks saga and the Tournament of Power. It's only about half a year to a year tops, though we don't know the exact time period. However, a lot can change and will change during this time. We go back to the Frieza Force, as Frieza warmly welcomes Broly to his army. As usual, he promises us Paragus and attempt at revenge against Prince Vegeta. Frieza's scouts also report back to Frieza something pretty interesting. On a random planet, there was this room, and this room somehow could dilate time. They had discovered a time chamber of sorts, one where a year inside was just a day outside. This is the same time chamber that Frieza had discovered in the granola arc. Frieza immediately departs there. He had already steeled his resolve. He would resort to what he despised most in order to finally get an upper hand against those wretched Saiyans. 4 months of training might not have been enough. However, 10 years should be more than satisfactory. Frieza smirks as he sets foot inside his home for the next decade. Let's move back to the Z Fighters. We are currently in the post-Future Trunks saga portion. Infinite Zamasu had just been erased by Future Zeno, and Trunks and Mai are planning to return to an alternate future timeline. I still find this plot point extremely stupid. However, as Vegeta says farewell to Trunks, they all suddenly immediately tense up. There was another power approaching Earth again. Actually, there were 2 powerful powers. Goku and Vegeta immediately recognized the first as Frieza's. However, the second was unfamiliar, new. Vegeta immediately yells at Goku. He thought Goku had finished him off. Goku waves his hands frantically, stating that he thought he had. However, it looks like Frieza was more resilient than they initially thought. The spaceship sets down as the doors open, revealing 2 Saiyans together with Frieza. Vegeta was extremely confused. He didn't know there were any more surviving Saiyans besides his brother. Similar to DBS Broly, Paragus doesn't hesitate before seeking Broly on Vegeta. Broly and Vegeta clash. However, unfortunately for Vegeta, this isn't him post-Tournament of Power. Both Goku and Vegeta had grown astronomically stronger during the Tournament of Power itself, so this version of Vegeta is much weaker than the DBS Broly version of Vegeta. Immediately, Broly pushes Vegeta on the defensive as Vegeta struggles to match Broly's punches. Vegeta immediately turns Super Saiyan 1 as he continues struggling against Broly's rising power. Initially shocked about Vegeta's transformation, Paragus calms down when he sees that Broly still has the upper hand. Goku and Trunks walk towards Frieza meanwhile, as Goku questions Frieza on what he's doing here once again. Frieza merely smirks, simply stating that he's just here to get his revenge. Goku takes a closer look at Frieza, analyzing his ki. Frieza was only in his final form. However, his power was already scarily high, and Goku could immediately tell that he might not stand a chance at all. When Frieza spots Trunks standing there next to Goku though, he immediately starts grinning like a maniac. The Super Saiyan that killed him originally all the way back then was also here. Looks like the entire gang had gathered. It makes this all the more easier. Frieza immediately unveils his golden form once more. This time though, it was mastered. There would be no stamina draining problems. Goku and Trunks both Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Rage respectively. Frieza's power was way too high, and if they wanted to stand a chance, they needed to team up. Goku nods at Trunks as they fight side by side once again, like in the Goku Land saga. They then start to clash. Before we talk about their fight, let's go back to Vegeta. Base Broly pushes Vegeta all the way to Super Saiyan God as usual, and similar to canon, Super Saiyan God Vegeta finally starts to dominate Broly. Vegeta catches Broly's punch, and punches Broly so hard that Broly almost falls unconscious as he falls down into the depths of the ocean. However, Broly's rage starts to surface as Broly taps into his Ikari form, and Paragus, unfortunately like usual, cannot supply the remote for Broly's shock collar because Chi-Lai has stolen it during an altercation between him and Chi-Lai. Broly re-emerges in his new Ikari form as he starts to push Vegeta back once again. Vegeta goes to Super Saiyan Blue. However, unfortunately, Vegeta's current power is nowhere close to the level of power Super Saiyan Blue Goku displayed during the DBS Broly movie. And the main issue was that Broly's power was still continually rising, and Vegeta was slowly losing more and more ground. The rest of the Z Fighters who have sensed this altercation arrive on the scene, witnessing the brutal one-sided fight between Vegeta and Broly, and how Frieza was simply toying with Goku and Trunks. However, they couldn't do anything. Gohan was especially dismayed as he looks down, ashamed of himself. Maybe if he had kept up with his training, he could help out Goku, Vegeta and Trunks. However, currently this looked like an impossible situation to salvage. Goku powers up the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10 and pushes Trunks aside. At this point, Trunks was only getting in the way. However, Goku's temporary power-up was completely useless, as Frieza simply increased his power just tad bit above Goku's, and once again, Goku is on the back foot. As Goku and Vegeta struggle, the rest of the Z Fighters look on in utter desperation. Trunks grips his sword as feelings of frustration boil to the surface. Goku and Vegeta had saved him so many times. However, when it was time for him to save them, he couldn't do anything but spectate. Unfortunately, the same could be said for the rest of the Z Fighters. Gohan in particular was feeling extremely regretful that he had not kept up with his training. Beerus looks on as well, a little worried. Despite his supposed lack of concern, Goku and Vegeta were still his students, and of course, the good food on Earth was also a bonus. Though his position as a god made it such that he couldn't interfere, Frieza wasn't breaking any universal rules anyways. Frieza finally gets bored of the fight as he powers up once again and immediately knocks Goku out. As he stands above Goku charging a death beam, he wonders whether he should really end Goku right here and then. Gohan and Trunks couldn't hold themselves back any longer as he charged straight in. Trunks' sword bounces uselessly off Frieza as Frieza nonchalantly slaps Trunks back with his tail, knocking him out as well. Meanwhile, Gohan's power is utterly insignificant compared to Frieza, and Frieza literally ignores him, simply flaring his aura to send Gohan flying back. Frieza picks Goku up before shrugging and then dropping him back onto the floor. He would spare him this time around. Goku didn't really give him any fight whatsoever, and Frieza technically did still owe him a favor for the mercy that Goku had showed him back on Namek. So Frieza decided he would return this favor just this once. Though Vegeta unfortunately won't be so lucky. If Broly defeated Vegeta and killed him, so be it. Frieza stands atop a rock platform, positioning himself in such a fashion that if any of the Z Fighters try to intervene, he will stop them. Krillin does attempt to do so, and he flies in charging up a solar flare to assist Vegeta. However, he didn't anticipate Frieza's sudden intervention, as he immediately kicks Krillin away, nearly killing him. Frieza tells the rest of the Z Fighters that if any of them make a move, he wouldn't hold back any longer. Frieza continues to observe the fight. It was quite entertaining watching Vegeta get beaten down. Vegeta slowly loses more and more ground until he finally drops out Super Saiyan Blue as Broly lands the finishing blow, killing Vegeta. Bulma cries out, utterly devastated. Goku, who still laid injured on the floor, clenches his fists, shaking uncontrollably in anger. Frieza smirks at that sight. Broly then resets his sights on Frieza, still completely berserk. However, Frieza incapacitates Broly with one swift uppercut as well. Frieza yawns, telling the Earthlings to gather the Dragon Balls. He wanted to make a wish. At first, none of them moved. However, after Frieza threatened them, Krillin meekly obeys, holding the Dragon Radar to go and search for the Dragon Balls. As the Dragon Balls are gathered and the dragon is summoned, Frieza wishes to make himself taller. Everyone nearly face pumps, but hold themselves back so as to not incur Frieza's wrath. Beerus does laugh at Frieza though. Frieza smiles straight. As he turns around though, he chuckles. He was sure he wasn't too far off in surpassing Beerus as well, and when the time comes, he would kill Beerus too. As Shenron bids his farewell, Frieza suddenly shoots a death breath through the dragon, killing Shenron. He had no need for the dragon anymore after that wish. Everyone looks on in utter shock. Frieza walks off with Paragus in tow as they walk onto their ship as they depart from Earth. Beerus looks on with slight unease. Looked like he might have to start training too. Frieza still looked like he had more under his sleeve. The Z Fighters gathered together to plan what they are gonna do. Luckily, Dendy was still alive, and after some effort, he recreates the Dragon Balls, reviving Vegeta. Trunks and Mai decide to stay in the past for now to help Goku and Vegeta with these problems. With Frieza being the main concern, the Tournament of Power is also pushed back because Goku doesn't go to remind Zeno about the tournament. Gohan, Piccolo, and Trunks go into the hyperbolic time chamber to train. Gohan regaining his strength was the top priority now. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta immediately depart to begin their vigorous training. Goku and Vegeta, at the start, both begin training with Whis, trying to attain Ultra Instinct. However, Vegeta quickly discovers that this form of training was completely unsuitable for him. He goes down the God of Destruction route instead, together with Beerus. The next half a year goes on pretty peacefully. Gohan, Piccolo, and Trunks stay in Time Chamber for a year, which is one day outside. Piccolo, however, did not increase in power that much and is still his regular old self, no new forms or anything. Gohan has re-attained his mystic form though, so he's still pretty far away from awakening anything new. Trunks has mastered his Super Saiyan Rage form, making it much more efficient. Trunks and Mai had decided to stay in the present timeline for now to help out, much to Beerus' displeasure. He wanted these time travelers out of here right away, but they refused to listen to him. Goku and Vegeta are making good progress in at least tapping into these new realms of power, Goku being able to tap into Ultra Instinct Omen. However, the power was still very fleeting. Vegeta had slightly better luck accessing Ultra Ego though. At times, he was able to tap into it and maintain that level of power. However, he couldn't fully utilize it and would revert back to his base form at times. This was all due to the mindset Vegeta held. He couldn't keep a tight leash on his emotions, as he had to maintain a cruel and careless facade in order to tap into this power of destruction. However, Vegeta didn't want to become the person he was back then in the Saiyan saga, so this caused him to feel very conflicted. Now, we venture onwards into the Tournament of Power. As usual, the Grand Priest gathers Beerus, Goku and Vegeta, and Whis at the land of the Supreme Prize. He informs them of the date of the Tournament of Power. However, immediately afterwards, he gives Goku an hour to gather 2 more fighters to participate in the Xeno Expo. Goku looks at Vegeta, however Vegeta declines Goku's offer. He has spent enough time away from Bulma, who was already pregnant, and this tournament wasn't really of high stakes anyways. So Goku goes back to Earth to recruit Gohan and Trunks. Gohan, who has just trained in the hyperbolic time chamber, isn't rusty whatsoever. So the first round, he destroys Lavender with ease, despite the poison being a little tough to deal with. Trunks, who has never stopped training and in just Super Saiyan 2, completely dominates Bezo. In the third round, Goku defeats Bergamo as usual, and then gets interrupted by the Grand Priest before he gets to fight Toppo. Now, the team recruitment begins, and most of the members are the same: Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Android 17 and 18, Vegeta after Whis helps Bulma give birth, Krillin, and Roshi. One new member is Trunks, and now the team's got to decide on the last remaining member. Beerus immediately wants to recruit Frieza. At this point, Beerus just wanted to survive the tournament. Strength was all that mattered, and Frieza had that in spades. Goku and Vegeta immediately refute Beerus, stating that Frieza would definitely want something in exchange, and it would never be good. However, Beerus didn't care, simply ignoring their complaints as he goes to recruit Frieza. When Frieza hears of the news from Beerus, he immediately knows that he has Beerus on the ropes here. For the first time, the God of Destruction Beerus was the one that needed his help. Frieza thinks long and hard. At this point, those wish orbs were nothing more than a distraction. He didn't need them. He was way too strong for Goku and Vegeta anyways. However, Frieza suddenly thinks of a great idea. Beerus himself was still a formidable foe for now, so Frieza decides to ask a future favor from Beerus, a request he could state at any time, and if not completely unreasonable, Beerus would be forced to fulfill this request. Beerus grimaces before sighing and agreeing to Frieza's request. Beerus valued his own life more than anything, and with Frieza on the team, they definitely had the highest chance of winning. So now, Frieza joins the Universe 7 squad, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you how the tournament would play out with Frieza on the team. Golden Frieza himself already disposes the likes of Lightspeed Dispo, and Elaza, and even God Destruction Topo. And Jiren is forced to step in immediately to put out a stop to Frieza's rampage. So, finally, Golden Frieza faces an insurmountable, unwavering challenge. However, Frieza didn't just have his golden form. No, he had something new, something far above his golden form. And Frieza decides to show off his new realm of power, its power far eclipsing anyone, anything has ever seen. And for the first time in his life, Beerus shivers in fear. Frieza was right next to his level of strength. Unfortunately for Jiren, even at his full power, he is merely a plaything to Black Frieza, an ant to a giant. Frieza single-handedly wipes out all the universes and is granted the wish for the Super Dragon Balls. Obviously, this is really bad news. Frieza has no idea what to wish for though, and decides to just use the wish to grant him immunity to the Xeno's erasure ability, the one thing his ever-growing power could never work around. And it works. The wish is granted, and Super Shenron departs. Goku and Vegeta are devastated. The rest of the universes will never be revived. But Universe 7 is further out of luck, because the Xenos decide to erase Universe 7 as well, with only Frieza left standing. If you recall, the Xenos actually were going to erase Universe 7 originally if the winner of the Tournament of Power didn't wish to bring all the universes back. So that's what the Xenos did. However, since Frieza is immune to the Xenos erasure, this caused him to be the only one left standing. Frieza scowls in anger. Now that everyone was turned to dust, what was he to do? Frieza is transported to one of the remaining universes where he continues his reign of terror. However, he will continue to feel unsatisfied at how things had played out. With this terrible ending, we end off this series. Yes, personally I feel like this was a bad way to end it. However, I felt like going with a more realistic approach this time around. Hope you guys still enjoyed the series as a whole. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned.